Hello, I'm Tim Collins from 4i Leadership, and please allow me to introduce you to Melina Litkowitz.
Hi, Tim. How are you?
Mel, I'm really good. Can we just begin? Could you please just explain where you are and what's going on where you are?
Yeah. Well, South Australia has just come out of a snap 7-day lockdown. And as of today, we have some new requirements in place. It's not law per se, but we are required to now wear masks indoors and outdoors. And I'm just going to take this off. But the reason why I had it on, and I am in an office on my own, is I think this represents the changing landscape leaders are navigating today.
Yeah, I mean, Mel and I started this journey of coming together and holding a collaborative space for leaders in the middle of last year. When
or
we
earlier.
Was it what you mean before?
Around March. Yeah, okay. Around March, April when we started.
And that was we called that Leaders in Isolation. And now here we are with Sydney just having announced another month of a pretty extreme lockdown. Melbourne and Adelaide, I have got variable conditions. So the landscape is continually shifting, continually changing. Mel and I have continued to hold that space and roll out a program which we're evolving, which we'll come to in a little bit. But just for now, let's just talk about, what in this changing landscape leaders need to focus on, we believe, in order to keep evolving and keep adapting and keep up with these changing conditions.
Yeah. Look, Tim, I would say, and sorry, I'm just going to try and answer that question, even though I know you've got some answers as well. But the answers are more about what I'm hearing out there, right? So they're not answers per se. There's a lot of burnout. In the workplace. I ran the start of my resilience program yesterday, and it was evident again, the extreme amount of burnout that leaders are having to navigate, not just for themselves, but for their entire teams. And so I think with the amount of uncertainty that will progress into our future, it's up to leaders to now understand how they navigate that burnout. And the other thing that we've seen in amongst all of this is an enormity of unrest within our economic systems, within our politics, within our spiritual and cultural areas as well. And we know that global trust is declining, and trust is becoming one of the key factors for organizations that are going to help them to create this thriving environment. I mean, they're just two that I think are critical. What about yourself, Tim?
No, well, you know that I agree with those two. And that these are two of the things that we believe are really prominent, that are both impacting on the performance of leaders and really are what we consider sort of primary domains for leaders to focus on in order to amplify their own impact within their teams and to amplify the performance and success of the teams that they lead. The other two that I'll bring some attention to as well is narrative and how you go about managing your internal narrative, story you tell yourself right now, and also the narrative that you construct as a means of messaging, of maintaining optimism, of increasing certainty with all of those that you influence and impact on. And the final one really is creativity. And within that, the adaptability and the agility and the means by which you can come up with novel solutions to these complex, wicked problems that we're facing. So these are the four things which, guess what? Surprise, surprise. Mel and I are going to be focusing on in new, improved version 2.0 of this leadership space, Curated Conversations. Mel, would you like to describe a little bit about what we're going to be doing?
Yeah, so we're changing the landscape a little bit in terms of how we're engaging with the audience. It's a safe space for leaders to have some courageous conversations around these areas and how they are impacting the skills we need and the capabilities we need to bring into the workplace. So as you've heard from Tim, there is going to be that focus on working with the narrative, There's going to be that focus as well in terms of working with, what does create mean and how does that become an anchor as well for organisations to continue to focus on growing and going into the future. And there's also the focus on trust and thrive. So they are now the 4 new pillars that we're adding to the existing 4. We are going to continue this journey starting September through to December. There'll be lots of fun things happening. We'll have some content sharing. We'll continue those campfire discussions, but we're going to do some things a little bit different and a bit more interesting as well with challenges.
Yeah,
I think
so
that's,
I think that's a good summation. That is a good summation.
Sorry, I said a lot. I'll just shut up.
That's good. That's good. So I'm just going to try and sort of sweep it all up, bundle it together. So if you're experiencing increased trust, anxiety, increased uncertainty, really questioning, the level of trust that exists within your team, within your community, within your organization, the first 2 things we're going to focus on are thriving and well-being, and then building trust. Okay, so well-being for thriving and building trust. After that, we're going to come to narrative and to creativity. So if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link that you can just sign up for an expression of interest so we can keep you updated as this stuff comes. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, you can go to the 4i Leadership LinkedIn area, or my profile, or Mel's profile, which I'll tag her in a post shortly, or the People Queue LinkedIn page, and those sign up forms for expression of interest you can find there as well. So if you're taking a brief respite from your lockdown day or wherever your day may be, we hope this has been interesting, helpful, maybe even exciting in some way. And we look forward to being back with you again at some point soon, and to maybe seeing you in our curated conversation space. Yeah.
See you all soon. Come and join the space. It is a space where we can discuss the ever-changing and increasing landscape for leaders, and it is a safe space. So, Tim, it's been great chatting to you again, and no doubt we will chat soon. But to our community out there, watch this space. There's more coming.